SculptureWalk is a public opportunity for you to encounter artwork on the street. Our mission is art to the people. The primary function of SculptureWalk is for families, friends, art lovers to be able to go through the streets of downtown Sioux Falls and encounter public artworks.
Hi, my name's Christine Knapp. I'm from Lyons, Colorado. It's a little mountain town in between Boulder and Estes Park in the foothills of the Rockies. This is a piece commemorating the very successful comeback of the river otter in Colorado. River otters are all over the United States, but in Colorado they were almost extinct due to overfishing, habitat loss, etc. And in the last 5 years they've started to come back very nicely. And so this is a celebration of that. This piece is called Carpe Carp. In this piece you'll see a number of carp that this otter is going after, and they're very amusing, curious, energetic little creatures. And so I thought that the C shape here was the most interesting way to portray him.
My name is Dale Lewis. I'm out of Hastings, Minnesota. I brought 2 pieces down to the SculptureWalk here in Sioux Falls this year. This one behind me is the Junkyard Chameleon. He's made out of junk. He's sitting on a Chevy pickup frame, and it's a style that I've developed. I don't paint anything, so the way I get around that is use painted material and just weld it together. This style I've termed it paint by numbers. His eyes are like ceramic, so these are ceramic bowls and flat glass marbles for his eyes. I also brought something I call the twisted pine down. So it's made out of rod, a reinforcement rod, but not like re-rod. It's off a silo. So concrete block silos. It's the rod that goes around and holds it all together. And if you see the tree, it's got that's what the material is, and you see all the couplers in there. So any farmer should recognize some of the pieces. And the pines on it, the pine needles are kind of unique. They're steel wire, but they're copper clad, so it looks like wire, and it also coincidentally turns kind of green, so it looks a little more like a pine tree. And if you look close at the pine cones, they're actually half of a trampoline spring.
The process for getting into SculptureWalk is we first take submissions in around August, and we go all the way through October. In October we jury that work. The work then gets selected to go into this year's SculptureWalk. Whichever year we're selecting for, we'll select a number of sculptures that will go into the SculptureWalk primary, and then we also have secondary lease sites. So in an average year we receive upwards of 200 submissions. From there, those artworks show up on site in May. Deinstall and install happen in the month of May, and then there is a large celebration for the opening weekend of SculptureWalk, typically around the second week of May. One of the ways that we get in front of artists is we send out a submission, which goes online in a number of online forums. Over the years of working through SculptureWalk, we've developed a pretty large pool of artists that work with us, and those artists then submit from those platforms. We're already preparing for next year's SculptureWalk by the time that we get the current year up. SculptureWalk has a robust volunteer base, so if you're interested in volunteering for SculptureWalk, there's all sorts of opportunities, be that in communication with artists, or installation, or repair and maintenance and care of of the sculptures around the city.
Hi, I'm Shohini Ghosh. Could I start now? This is called Volteretta, and it's a sculpture that I created in the last 2 years about the tenacity of our human nature. We pick ourselves up and we go back, and this constant movement of rising, and then we kind of go down for a little bit and then come back up again. And it's circular, and that's what I showed here. There are a number of figures, but they keep enlarging, and then it finally goes into infinity. I'm trying to personify a feeling which is so abstract, and I'm trying to bring it into a tactile form. So it's a moment in my perception of life, and it's perceived as a different experience for everyone. I just want them to take something away so that they remember the piece.
My name is Jason Richter. I've been doing SculptureWalk for about 3 years now. I'm an engineer by day and I tend to do art by night. This piece is called Mindset. It's just kind of my take on the left brain, right brain paradox, where left brain's a little more analytical and the right brain's a little more creative. If you step around the backside, you'll kind of see why. It's made out of steel, welded steel and stainless steel, and then painted. It's a bit of a dynamic piece. You'll see a lot of reflection, a little bit of an optical illusion. Get you to think a little bit and wrap your head around the concept and see that the left side of your brain analyzes things a little differently than the right side of your brain.
My name's Jim Perrine. I'm from New Knoxville, Ohio, along with Gary Hovey, who's also from New Knoxville, and we work with Hovey-Ware Sculptures. This is Bravo the bull, and Gary made him a few years ago, but hasn't been in this show yet, so we brought him out here. We enjoy doing animals, so this is another one that we've done. This is made out of all knives, forks, and spoons. You can see the spoons real good, forks there, and then different handles and whatnot, but everything is made out of knives, forks, and spoons, stainless flatware.
SculptureWalk is it's its own 501c3. SculptureWalk has a governing board of individuals from our community, and it works closely with the city and partners. SculptureWalk is currently managed by the Washington Pavilion Management Incorporated, which consists of our team here on site, but that also is in conjunction with city municipality. Every sculpture on SculptureWalk has an individual sponsor, whether that's corporate or private. An individual has paid for that particular artwork to be in our city. Without those corporate sponsorships, without those dollars being allocated to the artwork, one, we wouldn't be able to get the work, and two, we wouldn't be able to have any kind of an organization to put this together at all.
Hi, my name is Nathan Johansson. I'm from Utah. This year I've been blessed, or I'm pleased to participating with 3 different pieces here in SculptureWalk. This piece is called Winter Hibiscus Leaf. It's a cast bronze piece depicting a weathered wintertime leaf of the hibiscus plant. You can see how it's all kind of curled up, showing the beauty of a different time of a plant's life. I have a piece down the road here, a little next block, called Cherry Bark Bouquet. And it's pieces of cherry bark that have sloughed away from the tree with all their kind of curls up and makes these interesting forms. And then the third piece is called the Emerging for Next Year. It's a seed pod shape, and the seed pod is bursting forth and showing the inside seeds that will be the next generations of this plant, the continuing life of the plant.
Hello, my name is Alex Mendez, and I'm from Decatur, Indiana. This will be my 7th year in the Sioux Falls SculptureWalk. My piece this year is Nimrod, which is my first attempt at any sort of figurative sculpture. I have done abstract sculpture throughout my entire career. Not only is it my first attempt at figurative, but it is entirely hand-painted. The leap for me was trying to figure out how you get the segments of a figure, of how you try to find the hips and the shoulders and the head. And so for me, I had to separate it into 3 different elements, where you can see that the hips extend up and there's a shoulder pop. While it's abstract, it is figurative, and it's not only that, but it's kind of sassy because it's popping its hip up, its shoulders up, it's kind of looking at you. And so working on a sassy sculpture for a couple of months was very fun.
My name is Clark Martnick. I am from Mitchell, South Dakota, and this is my sculpture titled Pose of Inspiration. I titled this piece after seeing it in its final shape, and I looked at it, and there was something very yoga-esh about it that I just said, this is a beautiful pose. I see this as a figure stretching and kind of letting go of everything and taking a beautiful natural form. This piece is hand forged from solid steel. It's about 9 feet when it's all unraveled, And when it's all wrapped up, this is the form that it takes. I can't wait for everybody to come down, take a walk around, look at all the brand new sculptures that are downtown Sioux Falls. Enjoy yourselves.
If you wanted to enjoy Sculpture Walk, the way that I would go about doing that is first I would head down to the Washington Pavilion, go to the Sculpture Walk Visitor Center, pick up a brochure, or you can pick up a brochure anywhere along the Sculpture Walk, or this year we're online, and going forward we'll be online, so you can always access the Sculpture Walk website, and then take your time and go out and follow the order of the map, one sculpture at a time, and it's a day. The City of Sioux Falls every year purchases a People's Choice. The People's Choice is decided exclusively by the votes. So if you pick up a brochure or if you go online, moving forward, you can vote for People's Choice. The People's Choice winner will be purchased by the City of Sioux Falls and remains in permanent collection here in the city.
My name is Kyle Falcon, and I'm a sculptor from Minneapolis, Minnesota. This piece, oddly enough, is about relationships, or in particular, being married. My wife and I have been together for 25 years now, married 20 of those years. And I kind of started thinking about our conversations about how we come from different places, and we're constantly building bridges and repairing bridges and breaking bridges down, and constantly going back and forth with our conversations, literally around the dining room table with our kids. And so I thought, well, it's kind of a way of looking at bridges and spans, and so how you bridge gaps between people. So I decided to start making a series of bridges, and then I thought, well, how do these bridges all kind of come together? And they kind of come together in a ring. And the ring is like one of the most solid forms. And so I thought, well, on top of that, maybe what this ring is about is maybe it's an area for a nest to happen. So I thought, well, we've got bridge spans, we've got a nest type of form where we have our kids and our life and our world. So I thought maybe this is our nest, is kind of what we're looking at.
My name is Arthur Norby. I'm originally from Montevideo, Minnesota, but I live in Chandler, Arizona. I've been making sculpture since 1979 and worked full-time as an artist since 1976. This is the first time I've been in Sculpture Walk. I've come through, and I have some family that live in the area here, and was encouraged to take part. This one is called the Rice Basket, and it's based on the Native American activity of winnowing wild rice. The concept is that the rice is thrown in the air from the little rice basket you see and gathered again at the bottom. If you look closely at her face, you can see that there's a feeling of serenity. It's kind of a not a religious but a spiritual feeling that I want people to come away with.
Hi, I'm Will Vanderson, and I'm based in Kansas City, Missouri. The piece is called Subterranean Figure, and the idea is that we as humans tend to see reflections of ourselves in the natural world. This is no exception. This is literally a piece of ginger I found at the store, held it up, I'm like, you know what? Looks like a little man. And so you see that sort of figurative thing happening in a lot of ginger pieces, a lot of these twisty root forms that I'm particularly attracted to.
Art enhances everything about your life. So if you encounter artwork, either publicly, privately, inside of a museum, but certainly Sculpture Walk offers this free opportunity for you to encounter culture, and it enhances the quality of life for everyone.
If you've never been to Sculpture Walk before, a really big reason to come and visit this is not only to see the wonderful projects that have been going up downtown because of it, but also because art enriches your life in ways that you may not know. Seeing this may spark a memory that maybe you've had of camping somewhere or seeing an otter, and it just increases your appreciation for the life around us that sometimes when we're all so busy, we don't stop to notice, and this forces you to stop.
It's like the mecca for sculpture in the country, I believe.
We love it. We just love this excitement around sculpture and art.
I think it's a great idea, and it's a great venue, and I encourage people to really come and take care of it, have a good look at it.
What happens with SculptureWalk is you get such a range of different styles of people from all over the world, all over the country. And it's just this great way to explore different perspectives and just see how amazing this downtown area has become over the years since SculptureWalk has started.
Sioux Falls here is our favorite show. It's the biggest one that we're a part of, and we love coming out here. The people take very good care of us. They seem to really enjoy our artwork, and it's just a lot of fun to come here. Great town, great organization that's put this together. It's fantastic.
I can say with 100% honesty, I'm a product of SculptureWalks. You should come down and look at the public art because you're going to get inspired. You're going to draw your own inspiration and your own thoughts from each and every piece, because there isn't a piece that's like the next. And so you get to experience a whole plethora of art just on Phillips Avenue. And when I say I'm a product of it, I wasn't making art 10 years ago. And then I got introduced to Sioux Falls. And then through Sioux Falls, I decided I wanted to make art. So when you come and enjoy art, and when you explore it, and when you see so many different styles 10 feet from each other, you're just struck by inspiration. You're struck by the desire to create.